welcome to Knit One,
Part 2, episode 121, and Sheila's back!
I'm back, kinda, sorta.
I'm so glad, because I hate recording by myself!
My throat's all of a sudden itchy, which means allergies are acting up, I'm sorry.
I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie.
And obviously I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, because I'm back.
She's back, so if you are a new person who's only been watching the last few weeks, this is who is usually here with me, and it's not just me.
I'm not a made-up friend.
She's real. She's not my imaginary.
This is Sheila, and nobody's there. Sure, Wendy.
That's why I don't work as a lawyer anymore, because I'm a wackaloon. Okay, so I have a couple of shout-outs. Number one, we are just about to wrap up our knit-along, lace knit-along at the end of July. So that's got like
one more week?
Yeah, another
Next
week on it. We'll draw the first time we
2 weeks.
record after July 31st. So,
which I think works out to be like August 5th or
yes,
something.
and it might be
like
the week that you're recording without me.
Oh, that's my responsibility?
Yes, it is.
No, I don't think it is the week. You're only gone for a week, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm coming back August 3rd. Oh,
So no.
Wait, no, August 3rd is a Saturday, though.
Right, but we don't... Oh.
August 2nd would be the day that you have to
For some reason,
draw.
I'm still thinking that we record on Wednesday when we haven't recorded on a Wednesday in...
More than a year. That's because I have carried the weight of this podcast on my shoulders alone for so long.
Oh my god. Get over it. Yeah, I've been carrying the weight of 2 jobs on my shoulders.
I really shouldn't piss you off because you'll make me record by myself some more.
I have a lot of shifts till 1 o'clock coming up on Fridays, you know.
So, just ignore that whole situation there. So we will draw prizes after, we'll close the thread on July 31st.
Or the somewhere about it. Could
August
very
1st,
well be...
or August 2nd.
It could be the Friday of August 2nd.
We'll draw prizes after that closes.
How many were you drawing?
Just one. Oh. 2?
I think we're drawing 2.
2 prizes, and then also a prize for Tour de Fleece. But I think I'm going to draw that at the end of Tour de Fleece. If it works out. Otherwise, I'll draw it when I get back. Well, but everything will be posted in the group, so you'll know.
We'll figure it out.
The second shout out I have is huge thanks. I thanked Charity last week for her donation, her generous donation. We got 2 more donations, very generous donations this week from Elizabeth and Emily, who many of you, I know Emily is AKA Millie, who has donated things to the podcast before. I'm not sure who's Elizabeth is.
I didn't write it down because...
In the real world.
Yeah,
but you guys, thank you so much. We're really working on getting this transitioned over, but that money might come in handy if we need to pay for some hosting. Why do you have a face cloth in your bag?
It must have fallen in there from a hotel.
It must have fallen in.
Well, you know, you only have 2 beds and like no other space. You have 2 kids. You never know what goes flying around.
All right, so those 2 shout outs. The third shout out I have is, more than a month ago, we drew prizes for our last knit-along.
It's got to be closer to 2 months now
2 months.
since we're finishing them.
For one, a knit socks, and gimme yarn 418.
Do we have the addresses for both?
I do have them because they immediately contacted me. I'm a jerk. I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm a jerk. I don't know why I haven't mailed these out. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow morning, and then I don't do it. So your prizes are right here. I am giving you each an additional prize. These are mine. I have 3 of these. I only need 1. So I am giving you each a little mini sock block pattern.
I wish I'd known that. I could have given them some sock yarn.
Well, I think both of the people got sock yarn as a prize. They did.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can make your sock. You can use your leftover sock yarn to make the little...
I forgot what the prizes were.
I know, pretty.
Soft, too.
Yeah. I'm a jerk. I know I'm a jerk. I'm a jerk who has been so busy with the end of school and all the stuff that's been going on that I did not follow through. And
well, you've been as I quote unquote having the burden of the podcast on your shoulders alone for the last 2 weeks.
Sheila's a responsible one. I'm not the responsible one, but I
No,
just
I'm
want
not
to show you guys. These
responsible.
are going out. When Sheila and I are going to print out the things, and I am going to take them to the mailbox today. Just so you know. So that's my other shout out. I think that's all we have at the top of the show, and it's Sheila's turn to go first this week.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been knitting some. Yeah, guess what's still on the needles?
Where's the other thing that was on the needles? What was the other thing you're knitting? You didn't finish it. What was it?
No.
I can't
The
even
sweater.
Oh, the sweater, yes. Okay.
Forgot about that.
I'm sorry, but I can't even remember.
I
It's
can't
been so
either.
long
My
since I've
God.
seen you. I can't even remember what you're knitting.
My knitting mojo has flown out the window.
I know.
It's tanked. I even look at my yarn and I go, huh.
Well, you know what? Having multiple jobs is sucking the life out of you.
It really is.
It is.
I don't have any
I don't
energy
blame
to do
you.
anything but just vegetate.
Yeah, I know. That's how I feel sometimes too, and I don't even have 2 jobs.
So I'm still on the diagonal blanket. I am getting closer. I'm working tonight. That's the thing I keep saying when I go to my other job. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it. I bring it with me.
And you don't work on it.
I don't work on it.
Yeah.
I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
the baby's due in September. I got a month to go.
I think you'll finish it by then.
Yeah, so I don't have much left. I'm really doing it's coming along nice. I mean,
I like
I'm
it.
more than halfway through the white stripe, and as I get closer to the other end, it's going to go quicker because it's going to go smaller. I really like it. I mean,
do too. I think it's very pretty.
Someday, maybe I'll make one for myself.
I know.
Doubtful. Of course, I have a coworker who likes my socks, so I'm like, maybe I'll make her a pair.
Oh, that reminds me of something. I have Baubles and Bling that I forgot to bring out.
But, so, yeah, I'm plugging along on this. I am, let me see how many rows I am into the white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. I am 12 and a half rows, so I am halfway through the white.
Cool.
Because I do 25 rows. And they do get smaller each time. And again, the other color that's going with this, and I'm going to put the purples together, is this.
Pretty.
Yeah. So, I need to get that finished. I do not see this baby getting a sweater. Not that one.
It doesn't need a sweater.
I do have one that I've had for many, many years. It's one of those baby surprise jackets.
Yeah, I remember
I just
that
got to
one.
seam up the shoulders.
But give it that one.
I am, because it's a pink and yellow. It's really pretty, and if I get a matching... It's older. It's more maybe for a year-old or something.
They won't care.
No, I know, but it's good to have things in the future.
Yeah.
If I get something to go to the bottom with, a matching bottom, that would be good. So that's all I got. I'm sorry. I was hoping to have it finished. I was hoping to do a bunch of other things. I have grand schemes, but
Yeah, I know. It's
just
hard.
not the energy to do them.
That's how I feel.
I came home yesterday from work. I didn't sleep well the night before with the heat. Gave all my boys kisses because Cam's home. And I walked right to the futon and crashed for an hour. So,
Well.
unfortunately, that's all I got.
So I have one project actively on the needles. I've shown it before. This is the Seashore Shawl, which I bought from Yarn. Sally Filthy Shawl, yeah. That I bought from Yarn and Fiber Company that I've ripped out numerous times. It is now no longer needing to be ripped out because I did what I said I was going to do. I ripped all, it looks pretty good. I'm on the 3rd repeat, so the next row is going to have 3 C, you can't even say it, 3 C shells showing. And I'm knitting it out of Blue Moon Fiber Art Silk Thread 2 in a colorway that's something about silver spruce or something like that, or sprucey, Lucy Sprucey, I don't know. It is a color name with spruce in it. I didn't write it down, and I don't know what I did with the ball band. So,
is it only one skein?
Yes, because this is like 1,500 yards. So
what is it they're late on?
It's 1,100. It's Silk Thread 2 is the name of the base, and it's spruce. So it's coming out great. Like I said, I have the pattern on my iPad, and I found a number of errors, and I can't really show you, but I've made corrections to at least 22 rows.
Wow.
And it's just a mathematical error. The numbers are off on one side when you get into the second repeat, and the numbers are off on both sides when you get to the third repeat, just by one stitch on each side. So I just made, and then there's an extra row that doesn't work into the pattern that you need to skip. So I'm keeping track of that on my chart. What was happening before is I would forget. I would go on to the next repeat, and I would forget that I had made changes, and then I would make the mistake and mess it all up again. So now that I am keeping track, it's not getting messed up.
What was the name of the yarn?
Silk Thread 2.
Oh, all right. I found it. I just gotta find it.
I think it's 1,100 yards.
1125. Yeah.
1125. Yeah, it's a lot of yardage, and it's 100% silk, and it is a super fine lace weight. It's I think it's a 2-ply, very fine 2-ply lace weight, and it's spruce. Colorway is something spruce. Sheila's gonna look it up, so I'm gonna keep on going with this. It is knit on a US 5 3.75 millimeter needles. I am using my beautiful signatures that I got from my friend Angel. Thank you very much, Angel. And knitting with these needles on silk is lovely. It's like luxury, but I have to be really careful because if I don't pull the work back far enough, needles are so slick and the silk is so slippery that the stitches will just shoot off the needle. So I have to be really careful about that. But I'm enjoying this. This has all been done, even with making notations on every row. I've done this all in about an hour and a half of knitting.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not very complicated. It's just needing to know where to put the shell motifs so they line up the right way. And
they may have put it out for retirement right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that it's like blue spruce or
I just don't see it right now.
And I know it's a you can't really tell this lighting gives it like a purple tint. It's really more of a silvery gray. It may even be very faintly green. And I know there is a tree called the silver spruce that's kind of gray like this, so that might be why they call it spruce. I know I was thinking that the color name was weird when I bought it because to me it looks like it's just silver. So that's coming along really well. And that's all that I'm actively working on the needles right now. How about you rate your date? I know you don't have anything, but I feel like I have to ask. Otherwise, it's like I'm just taking over the whole podcast.
I know. Someday, I
Someday
may surprise you all. I may just have a plethora of them. Who knows?
I have a date to rate this week. I finished the Maile sweater. This is the Maile sweater by somebody Von Carr. Diane Von Carr, I think it is. Trisha Von Carr.
No, it's
Can
not
you
Trisha.
look it up?
Yes, I will.
I don't have it on my iPad anymore.
Maile.
Maile.
You deleted it off your iPad?
I deleted the pattern off of my iPad.
Nicky Vonda. Hold on, Vonda.
Yeah, Nicky Vonda. There we go. I knit it out of Highland Handmaid's Superwash Merino, which I spun into a 2-ply, heavy fingering weight, I'd say. And this is the colorway. This is Just to Say, which I bought on the first shop update that I ever actually had access to on Highland Handmaids. And the colorway reminds me of my sister-in-law who's having a baby. This is from my niece, Princess Peach. I made a few modifications. The first thing that I did is I made the body about 1/2 inch longer than the pattern called for.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that I did is I knit the sleeves in the round, and I made them slightly larger than the pattern calls for because a lot of people felt that the sleeves were very narrow. There's a really good list of cool mods you can make and the instructions for them under the username Crumb Grubber, CRUMBGRUBBER. I used her mods for the sleeves. And then I made the collar slightly larger than they called for, and I made fewer decreases to get there because obviously I made it larger. I just feel like babies' necks need a lot of room, and this is a very stretchy. Like it's stretchy. It's not. It's
what was the bind off
big.
you did?
I think they called for 53, and I think mine was in the 60s. It wasn't that much bigger. It might have been like 58 or something. It was larger than called for. The sleeves were only a couple of stitches bigger than called for, but it makes a difference. The other thing that I did is some people had felt that the sleeves were not placed. They were placed too far to the front. So I moved the sleeves a couple of stitches to the back of the garment. But it came out really cute. I picked these buttons up from Joann Fabric. They're just their standard ones, and I think they blend really well with the sweater. And my favorite part of the sweater is how there's this one black sheep sleeve. That's the darkest part of the yarn came together in that one sleeve, and I just think it's really pretty. But I think my sister-in-law will love this.
I'm sure she will.
It's really soft. And because it was spun from superwash, she can wash it without worrying about it felting. So, and I pretty much, when I prepped this yarn, I beat the ever-loving crap out of it when I thwacked it. I took a class. I know people who've watched for a while know I took a class with Abby Francamont last summer. Yes, it was last summer. And she says when she preps her yarn, it depends on how you want the finished look, and people will tell you in the internet there are different ways of prepping finished yarn, but she says she does everything that she can to it that she would expect it to happen to it when it was knit into a sweater. So she's like, don't be afraid to if your yarn is competent, like if it's holding together and the twist is right and everything, it won't come apart. I've never had a problem with felting. I do what somebody at the class referred to as the full Judith Mackenzie McEwen. I plunge it in hot and cold water alternately and I beat it in the water. Some people use a plunger. I use a rubber spatula. And then I go out and I beat it against the railing of the porch. I put a towel down and I thwack it on every side. And it gives a really puffy, soft yarn.
Yeah, it was.
If you
really
want
nice
a smoother yarn, you probably don't want to be that aggressive with it. But I've done that with every yarn I've made, even the ones that are not superwash, and I've never had a problem with felting. You'd think it would felt, but it hasn't.
Well, that's good.
And I just like the fluffy fullness that it gives the finished yarn, but you might not want that for certain looks.
Right.
So that's done. I'm glad that's done. This was a very easy, quick knit. I do recommend looking at that Ravelers page. I'll probably link her username page, her project page in my notes, just because. Oh my gosh. Now that's not real, right?
No,
but that's what it feels like. I'm sorry, we're looking at a picture.
I'm going to show you the picture in a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
That's not mine. So this is the picture we're looking at, just so you know. I happen to be on Facebook, and it's been really hot here for the last week or so. 90 plus degrees. It may even push 100, which I know to some people that's nothing, but for here it is a lot, especially with the humidity. With the humidity, it feels like 107. It's very stifling. So I just happen to be on my Facebook page. And this is what it looks like. It's a sculpture of some sort, and it shows a picture of a fan that's melted. That's how it feels.
That's how it feels.
Where are you going?
So last week I told you I've spun, this was 4 ounces of Highland Handmaids. I spun a pound of Diabolical yarn in the Flower Shop Inferno colorway, which I showed you is in my giant Star Trek bag. And this week I was working on a experimental project that we did. My friend Diane and I have always talked about how yarn looks differently depending on how you apply it together. And she said, if you had yarn and you had the same multiple bumps of the same yarn, it would be fun to do them each a different way and compare how they looked. So I have 3 bumps of Into the World, the wood colorway, which is this. And I spun the first one fractal plied, which means I divided the bump into 2 and spun 1/2 straight from the top. And then I divided the second half into 3 and spun those end to end. So it will be a progressively stripy yarn. So that's this one. And you can see it has a lot of barber pulling because every time the color change goes on each color, it barber pulls. Then the second one, I split into 2 again, and I spun them together from the same end so that the colors would mostly match up. And you can see there's a lot less barber pulling. So if you hold them up together, they look like 2 different colors of yarn, but they're spun from the same exact
How many bumps
colorway.
of this do you have?
I have 1 more bump.
So what are you going to do
The
with
third
that one?
bump, I'm going to divide it in half, and I'm going to spin it from opposite ends. So that should be totally random. This one is fractal, so it progresses
And how did you
the
do the
same
second
way.
one?
This is divided in half and spun from the same end.
So you
the
can actually
colors
do
match
one
together.
more way, and that's the
From the opposite ends.
right. But if you had 4 bumps,
Yeah.
you could do the what's the one where you try and keep the colors?
Oh, I had toyed with my third one. I could pull all apart the colors and do it as a
No, but there's another way. What's
Navajo ply.
Yeah.
I know, but I wanted them all to be the same weight yarn. Because Navajo would be a 3-ply, and these are
Okay.
2-plies, and I
Okay.
wanted them to all be 2-plies because I want to knit them all into the same shawl. Like, I want to do a
Alright.
huge shawl with all this yardage so that you can see them in the skein, and then I'll have a knitted garment that shows the way that it knits up differently.
Mhm.
That's my final outcome of the experiment. So I have these 2. I have not done much spinning this week. Except for this, because my kids came back on Sunday with my parents, and my parents just left this morning, so we've been busy. But I'll probably be able to get the third bump at least spun by the end of Tour de Fleece. I think Tour de Fleece ends on the 26th. I don't have to look it up, but that's my whirlwind romance, and I'm enjoying that.
That's good.
Future dates.
Future dates.
Sorry.
My future date is just to finish this damn thing. Yeah, other than that, I guess my future date is to finish the blanket, finish the sweater, and I really, really need to go through my yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about what I'm going to knit next. This is going to take me probably until I get back from my vacation in August. So I'll probably knit one more thing for the baby. I'll probably knit a monster, like a Rebecca Danger monster, for the baby. I was thinking about
July 21st.
what?
Tour de France.
Tour de Fleece? Oh.
Tour de France ends July 21st.
Oh, then same with Tour de Fleece. So next week we'll be able to draw for it before I go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a prize for that I am putting up. So yeah, that's it for my future dates. I probably knit a monster for the baby. I've knit the baby 5 hats and a pair of booties and a sweater. I might do a few more pairs of booties out of scrap yarn because booties are, they're
simple.
useful. Maybe I'll bring some scrap yarn and booty instructions with me when I go on my vacation, and that'll be my rest project from this.
There you go.
So anyway, that's my future dates. Baubles and Bling. No.
But nothing yarn related.
My
I got
mom.
new shoes.
Yeah, you can't really see them because they're on her feet.
I got new Dansko shoes for work. They were on sale.
Danskos are good.
They are good.
My mom made me socks.
So jealous.
My mom made me 2 pairs of socks, but I wore them other pair one day, and they're upstairs.
You wore socks during this
It
weather?
was so cold in the house. I needed them on my feet.
See, I can tell you why I wore them. Because I'm wearing wool socks right now.
Yeah.
But that's because I wear them to work. Because it's cold in there.
I can't remember. She gave them to me the last time she was up, and I forgot to show them. And then she started knitting these for me. She also has something for Sheila, but I don't know if I'd call it Baubles and Bling. She will knit you a pair of socks if you make felted clogs
Oh, that's right.
out of this. She even gave you the needles.
I don't need the needles, but yeah. How far
She
along
started
is she?
doing it and she couldn't figure out the pattern. My mom doesn't like new things.
My God. I gotta figure this out.
She
What
said
size?
she wears a 7.5.
Man, I can do this.
She said you can rip them out and start over.
I'm not ripping
I
it
know.
out.
I'm like, good luck getting Sheila to finish those for you.
Lately, yeah, no kidding.
So I don't.
You know what the problem's gonna be is her gauge is probably way off.
Well, you
mine.
should just rip them out and start over.
But it's felted. Yeah, ask her what size. Oh, jeez. Ask her what size to do, and I'll that will be my future date. Your mom will be my future date, and I'll get a skein of yarn ready for her.
Yeah, but I love these. My sock machine, Mom.
Yeah, no kidding.
And she blocked them because I gave her sock blockers for Christmas, and now she
Oh.
blocks her socks before she gives them as gifts.
But she doesn't weave in your ends, or
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she wove these ends, and I'm gonna guess no, but she did. I think this.
what yarn is that? I like the colorway.
I don't know. I'm sure it's Knit Picks or Opal, because my mom uses a lot of those. Cherry Tree Hill, that's her other favorite. So that's my only... Oh, I have this Baubles and Bling. I forgot. So I can't remember which of our viewers it was now. I'm going to have to look on my PMs. But somebody won a tiny gnome kit from Maile Rhymes with Maria podcast. And they told her to send it to me because they know that I love gnomes. It's Minimochi gnomes. You can make 3 gnomes. I think Malia knit a gnome before she gave it away.
You can make 3 of them?
Yeah.
Meaning there's only enough for 2 now?
I think so.
Oh.
Cute, huh? I might make a gnome. That could be a future date. So thank you, Malia, and thank you, viewer, who thought of me and knows that I love gnomes, because I do love gnomes a great deal. And... Wait, maybe this says who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she didn't mention which fan it was, but Malia wrote me a nice note. Thank you, Malia. Thank you for sending that. It probably would have been here sooner, but apparently it was lost in the mail, and it came in this, like, plastic bag, and it was all beat up.
Yeah.
So, I threw the bag away. So that's that. And we got another thing that we're going to talk about next week, but
we'll show now. So
we received a book to review.
Soho Publishing?
Yeah, Soho Publishing, Nicky Epstein Knits for Dolls.
Sent us this to take a look over. We already looked through it quickly and found some things that we like.
We're going to do a full review on it next week because we just got it in the mail today, or we just picked it up from the mail today, because another thing that I haven't been doing is checking the mailbox every week.
There's a lot of junk mail.
Oh, yeah. We get something from Comcast every week. I throw something away.
Things.
I throw something away every time I go to the mailbox. So it has a lot of cute outfits that you can make for 18-inch dolls, which would work with, like, American Girl doll. So I'm kind of excited to look at it. So that's it for Baubles and Bling. I didn't buy any new bags this week, so I'm really proud of myself. I do have to just show you what I'm using again. This is my Krabby bag. Did you see my Krabby bag?
Yes, I've seen your Krabby.
And this is
I
my
didn't see the shrimp bag.
bag.
Where'd you get that one from, Jessalou?
You didn't get to see this.
I didn't get to see the big...
Sheila didn't get to see this.
Wow.
This is from a couple weeks ago. This
I'm
is
jealous,
not the best
Jess.
bag
I am
ever.
so jealous. Wow.
It has space inside.
Hello.
That's my whole sweater's worth of yarn.
Wow. Came out good.
I know, I love it. I can't wait to start knitting it, but I'm going to wait until this heat wave gets done. But yeah, Sheila hadn't seen the giant bag.
No, I
Amazing
have
in
not.
space. I love that bag. Crushes and Heartbreak.
I have quite a few things going on. So, as you all know, we went on a trip.
That's right.
We went on vacation. We went up to Niagara Falls. We stayed on the Canadian side. And I would highly recommend staying on the Canadian side. It was... The view of the falls is just... You can't top it.
Yeah, that's beautiful up there.
We saw the American side view. I saw it from YouTube because we didn't stop in the American side. And what you can see on the American side is nothing compared to the Canadian side. So The American side, you get to stand next to the falls more so than the Canadian side, and you look at it this way.
Right.
And then you get to see the Horseshoe Falls here. I'm not even sure how much of the Horseshoe Falls you get to see. On the Canadian side, you're on the opposite side, so you see everything.
Right. Because I've only seen it from the American side, and you do see the falls are kind of like if you're standing on the railing, they're like right there, so you kind of see them sideways. Like,
how much of the Horseshoe Falls do you see?
I don't remember that because I was like 12.
Oh.
Then we
went.
I know we were in
on
the
the
US
Maid of the
side.
Mist, which is where the boat ride takes you right up to the falls, and you get wet. You get a poncho, but you get wet. So we did that. We stayed there a couple days, had a good time. I was with my in-laws. It was all right. It's just very frustrating when the conversations around you is all
because
Chinese.
Sheila does not speak Chinese, and her mother-in-law
my boys don't
only
speak
speaks Chinese.
So it's like divided into it's my husband and his family of his sister and his mother-in-law, and then me and the boys.
Yeah.
Then we went up to Toronto. Why we went up to Toronto, I don't know. Nothing wrong with Toronto. Don't get me wrong, please. Whoever lives in Toronto and watches us, nothing wrong. I will say they're in a massive reconstruction. Buildings are going up everywhere.
Wow.
They're fixing the streets. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Very nice city. We went to see Chinatown. That was basically the only reason we went. And me and the boys, after about an hour or two walking around, were bored.
Yeah.
So we had dim sum, walked around for a little bit, and then I said to my husband, yeah, we're taking the tram, and we're going back to the hotel. Our hotel was at the Renaissance.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the middle of Toronto Blue Jays Stadium.
Wow.
It's the only hotel in the world that is like that.
Cool.
So you go to the bar, or where you eat breakfast, their little restaurant, and you look right into the field.
Neat.
Now, nothing was going on because it was during the All-Star break.
Right.
And I think that's why we were able to get cheap rooms.
Yeah.
They also do concerts there.
Cool.
So it was really nice. Toronto itself is very nice. Why we were there was just dumbfounding. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was telling her we went there probably 10 years ago, but it's because my brother-in-law used to live there and he was getting married.
The other thing is, when you're from Boston, the public transportation is just, no one beats it.
Yeah.
Toronto, not so much. The nearest subway station to us was like 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
So we had to walk. Again, they're in construction, so I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
The tram, I think, would bring it closer, but the tram didn't go as far as where we were because of the construction. So we had a good time. I think we would have been better off staying in Ontario and then driving up to Toronto for Chinatown, driving back. Or if I had known about it, I would have taken the boys to Toronto Zoo or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't know in advance what we were doing.
Right.
I didn't think we were going to spend the whole day in Chinatown. So the boys had fun at the pool.
Well,
then
good.
Saturday night, there was a train museum across the way from, the CN Tower.
Yes.
We didn't go on the CN Tower, mainly because it was $32 per person.
I was so shocked when she said that because I know we wouldn't have paid that, but then I remembered we went there like 10 years ago. I'm sure it wasn't $32.
Yeah,
10
we
years
just
ago.
couldn't
That's a lot.
justify paying that.
To just go on a tall building.
I took some pictures of it with the boys standing so that the tower's up behind them.
Yeah.
So that looks good. And then across the street is a train museum. The Canadian, my stepfather told me what it was. I can't remember. It's a really nice one, and it shows the roundhouse.
Yeah.
32 cars
could
fit in the roundhouse. So I was explaining to the boys how it worked, and Max goes, I remember, Mom. Well, who's the engine, the cartoon engine?
Thomas.
Thomas the Train is also educational. I'm like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we had a lot of fun there. It was good. And then on our ride home, so we went, it's Route 90 towards our Route 90.
Right.
It's called the New York Thruway. So we're listening, and I saw a sign, like, you know how a lot of highways have those digital signs about warnings?
Right.
It said something about accident by exit this and be prepared for delays. Well, there's also a small one on the side of the road that if you want any information, go to AM 1610.
Yeah.
So we did, and it told us that there was a big accident around exit 31, 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
That no cars were getting by. So Cam and I said, well, why don't we stop to get something to eat now? Maybe it will
Clear
up. So as soon as we got back off the
highway
service rest station, they diverted us off the highway. They closed the whole section at exit 34.
Oh my goodness.
So we were listening to it. You could not get back on the highway until exit 24. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but there's sometimes good 20 miles between exits.
Right.
It was a good, easily 100 miles.
Oh my God, what kind of accident was
We don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It took us 3 hours to get back on to
oh my God.
New York Thruway because we were going through back roads. Now, this is where GPS sucks. Because GPS just... You get off the highway, it wants you to do a U-turn and get back on.
And it keeps telling you to do it.
Right, so at that point we shut it off. Thank God Cam had maps.
Yeah.
So we just looked at it and I did a parallel route. A couple of times I took us by the throughway to see if we could get back on.
Yeah.
And it said we couldn't. I said at this point, let's just go what the route it tells us to go. And we finally got back on. So needless to say, we didn't get home until about 11:15 after dropping Cam's mom and sister off.
Oh, that's horrible. GPS. This was a bad GPS week.
Well, it wasn't GPS's fault.
Except that the GPS wasn't doing what you wanted it to.
No, but it would have taken us the same route we took.
Yeah.
So then we get home, we drop off the thing. A little side note. At one point on Saturday, Zachary said something was wrong with his hearing aid. It ended up that when he takes his hearing aids off, he pulls. It does a lot of stress on the tubes, and they can rip. It happens all the time. It's just part of what it is. So he ripped a tube, and I think I sucked in a cat hair.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. So the tube ripped, so I put it in my pocketbook so we wouldn't lose it, because it just squealed so bad. It's just not functioning. So when we stopped at the service station, I said, where is your hearing aid, your other hearing aid? He goes, I took it off so I could wear headphones. Now, these are the headphones that just come over like this.
Right.
The old-fashioned headphones. I'm like, there's no need to take it off for the headphones. Go back, when we're done, go back and put it in. I even get in the car and I'm driving. I said, put your hearing aid on.
Yeah.
So we're driving home from dropping off the rental car. Mom, you have my right hearing aid, right? No, I do not. You were supposed to have it on. Where is it? It must still be in the car cup holder.
Oh, no.
Like, son of a gun. So I'm going to bed that night and I'm debating. Do I go straight to the rental company? It's the next town over. It's not very far. Or do I just call?
Right.
So I opted to call. They couldn't find his hearing aid. I'm like, son of a gun, I know it's there. If he says it's there, it's there.
I'm sure they found it and threw it out. And so the response is, it's not in there.
So I'm kicking myself for not going directly. But in the meantime, I had made an appointment for his audiologist to get the other one fixed. And again, it's just a tube replacement. She does it right there. And start the paperwork for the lost hearing aid. And I said to myself, why don't I drop by and see if I can look myself, just for peace of mind.
Yeah.
I get there and the car's gone. Either they rented it out or they sent it somewhere else that needed the minivan. I don't know. But it was gone. I'm like, kicking myself. But my husband brought up a good point. Zachary's been wearing hearing aids since almost 2.
Right.
He's going to be 10. So in 8 years, this is the first time we've lost it.
So that's pretty good.
It's not bad. The thing is we lost it before he's really qualified to get new ones. So we have to go for a pre-approval, which means I have to get a letter from his primary care, and we have to get a new hearing test, which, again, he needs, so it's not a big deal. It's just a pain in the butt.
I know. It just kind of bothers me that they're making you jump through that many hoops when it's kind of like, what if he lost, like, a prosthetic leg? Like, but he needs it to function.
But it's funny because she's like, have the doctor write a note saying, he lost his hearing due to this and this, chemo and ECMO, and that the reason for the hearing aids is to hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, you got to do that? That's kind of like, watch out. The iron can be hot.
I know.
Or your coffee could be hot.
Or warning, there's going to be flooding in your area. Don't drown.
But you're drinking a hot cup of coffee. Warning, coffee may be hot.
Coffee may be hot, yeah.
So it's just, so
it's just kind of silly.
That's my crushes and heartbreaks. Another crush is we got home Sunday. My husband took the boys camping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So that was nice.
It was nice. I did absolutely nothing. I came home from work, went right up to my bedroom with the AC. It's my, that's enough of my crushes and heartbreaks, I guess.
So, my crushes and heartbreaks. My crush and my heartbreaker that my kids came back on Sunday. I missed them.
But
so it was
nice.
good to have them back, but it was really nice. We got so much done. We got our garage fully painted. We got the front door of our house painted. We did not get the body of the house started yet because I swear it rains every day that we're able to paint. We finished the kitchen tiling. We installed a new storage unit. We used to have this crazy wooden shelf unit next to our washer and dryer in the basement, and it just was loaded with stuff. And it was something that our former homeowner, Crazy Jim, put together from pieces of scrap lumber and plywood, and it was all like warped, and it had been in the flood that we had in 2006, and I've hated it ever since we moved in. It took us an hour and a half to get it apart. It was huge. And the top half of it wasn't even attached to the bottom half and was slightly bigger, so it wasn't even supported. It was the worst piece of crap ever. But we went to Home Depot and we bought a really sturdy, it was almost exactly the same size in terms of height and width, but it's made out of steel, and it has like more solid wood shelves and that you can customize. So we threw away 3 giant garbage bags of stuff that was just on there. Like, the other part about it is this one is only 24 inches deep. The one that he had made was like 36 inches deep, and so you couldn't really get to the stuff in the back because it's in the corner by the bulkhead stairs. So this one is just much better. But there was a bunch of stuff on there that my husband saved all of the DVD cases after I took the DVDs out and put them in our album thing. You don't need those cases.
No, we have those too in my basement.
So I threw that out. There was just a ton of stuff in there that needed to be thrown out. So now I have a place to keep all of my linens downstairs so I don't have to put them upstairs. And we have a place to store our luggage so that we can pull it right out. Before we had it in the... we have like a wine cellar that's loaded with Jim's hoard of crap. Now we have our suitcases out so you can just pull them off the bottom shelf, and we have a storage place for my blocking stuff because I usually block in the basement because I can shut the door and the cats can't get in there. So I have my soaking bin and my pins and needles and all that stuff down there. It's just, I'm so happy. And we cleaned out the whole laundry area. So it's just nice and clean and functional, and that made me really happy. And then we cleaned the house. You can't tell now because the kids have been home now for almost a week. But my house was spotless. Like, I did all the floors. I got a new vacuum cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
I got a Dyson ball.
You like it?
Yes, that is my biggest crush. I would marry it if I could. I love it so much. We had a Dyson that we bought about 7 or 8 years ago. It was a while ago. And it just, my husband kept moving the furniture by bashing instead of moving the furniture with his hands, he would try to push it out of the way.
Yeah.
He broke like several parts off the vacuum cleaner. And it was like a $400 vacuum cleaner back in the day. I was like, it's not meant to move furniture.
Dyson's still very expensive.
Yeah, it is. And so it's all busted up. And I went to vacuum last week, and literally it was sucking stuff up from the floor and somehow spitting it out of the back of the vacuum cleaner, like into my legs. And I called him up and I said, I'm done. I don't know what part is broken or fallen off now, but I cannot get a clean house with this. And they were selling the Dyson ball for $3.99 as $100 off. So I bought it. And I love it. And I vacuumed where I had just been vacuuming with the rocks hitting me, and you cannot believe the amount of crap that came out.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So I'm really happy. It's so light I can carry it upstairs with one hand. It's really light. But that's because it is made out of plastic, which is not meant to be used to move couches.
It's not?
So my husband wanted to vacuum the rug that we have in the eating area in the kitchen. I was like, just let me take care of that. I'm not going to ever let him use the Dyson. I'm afraid he's going to wreck it. I'm like, if you need to vacuum, use the old vacuum cleaner downstairs. Because he cobbled something together. He was using it down there. I'm like, that's great. Whatever. You can use, that's your vacuum cleaner. So that's my big crush. We also went up to Maine yesterday to see my aunt and uncle, the kid's great aunt and great uncle. We swam in the pool all day, and that was really fun. We haven't been up there to see them for like a year. So we had a good time. My parents were here all week. So my mom and I went around and did some shopping and hung out in the pool in the backyard. And my dad took us out to dinner the other night. And we took my parents out to dinner. And we just had a really good time.
That's good.
And, then my dad and my mom and the kids and I went up to Maine yesterday for the day. So that was really nice. They left this morning. So now it's just me in charge of my kids. That's kind of a crush and a heartbreak. So that's all it for crushes and heartbreaks. Gossip and innuendo. There's really, August 10th is the Fiber Revival in Newburyport. I have my sister's baby shower on that day, so I am not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to go there at all. Our friend Jess is going to be there.
Oh.
And Josette's going to be there from Enchanted Knoll Farm, and Cindy from Yarn and Fiber Company, and I think Amy from Spunky Eclectic is going to be there. Like, a lot of our friends are going to be there, so I'm hoping I might be able to just go up for like an hour or two in the morning before the baby shower. So if you're available, you might want to run up there with me. It's like 45 minutes drive.
Oh yeah, I know. I just don't know what my schedule is.
But I'm going to try to go up there. But if you live in the area, it's a nice little event. They have lots of local to us vendors, like New England vendors there. And Leslie Wind is going to be there. She makes jewelry. They have a lot of demos and little, like, Leslie Wind will let you make something out of metal. Like, she teaches you how to make. So my kids did it the last time. It's really good for kids. They have food and beer and wine there, and it's on a historical farm, so there's animals and there's like some museum type displays there. So it's worth the day trip, and Newburyport's lovely, so
yeah, it is. You
can go up there and have a nice day. You could even go up for the festival and then go to like Plum Island or something. Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. I probably know better if I'm going to be able to go after I get back from California. So that's like all I can focus on. And congratulations to my sister-in-law. This is her last day of work.
Oh, cool.
She is leaving her job because she's going to stay home with the baby. So I'm excited for her. She worked in an administrative position at a university. So I'm really happy for her. Oh, also this Sinful Shine nail polish with gel tech. It's really good. It's not real gel nail polish. But if you follow me on Instagram, I put it on the other day, and it's holding up amazingly.
Mine's
That's real gel.
Because I've been splurging with my job.
And that's all we have to say about that.
Have a good week.
Yep.
Knit with heart.
Bye.
Bye.